Hello and welcome to another Goddess video. Today I actually wanted to talk about your clothing styles. When I started charting and when I learnt about all my cycle some 25 years ago, for me it was about discovering all these new and interesting ways to learn more and embrace my cycle, more about being a part of it and embracing the journey, looking at where I was in my cycle and how I could display that more outwardly. I wanted to really understand it. So for me, outward expression in clothing became a really important way of me expressing myself. And what I would do is each day I would look at what phase of my cycle I was in, and I would encourage myself to dress in a way to enhance the strengths of that phase and really benefit by emerging and embodying the goddess, if you like. So we have the four phases. We have Daphne, Demeter, Persephone, and Hecate. And those four phases are linked with the four phases of your cycle. So the follicular, the ovulation, luteal, and menstruation. And what I would do is I would look at what phase I was in and I would understand the energy of that phase and then dress accordingly. So in Daphne is, you've finished bleeding, you're in day 5 to day 6 to day 12, you're feeling lighter, and you've got a lot more energy, more focus, more determination. You're a little bit more playful and fun and you're ready to get back out there. So I would maybe, choose outfits that were more, allowed me more freedom. So, allowed me more movement, allowed me to get out there. I'd definitely have my sand shoes on and I'd be ready to go. I'd be wearing clothing that was fresh and young and just gave me that energy and lightness. So I would use that. I would look for colours that I really appealed to me in that phase too. So, for me, it was pastels and white and lighter, prettier colours. I used to really embrace doing that. And I used to wear very light makeup, very fresh, very young. It's a very young phase. And I used to play with this. And then I moved into ovulation, which was which my Demeter phase. And Demeter is the mother goddess. So she's all about love and compassion, and it's very outward, it's very open, it's very embracing. So empathy, compassion, love. And I would look for more free-flowing outfits. I'd have, skirts, dresses. I'd look for natural fibers. I'd be wearing things that enhanced my curves and allowed me to feel really feminine, but still, empowered and strong, that beautiful phase. It's a phase where you do tend to attract attention from all sorts of people. You're a very confident part of your phase. It's a very confident, and you can influence and enjoy other people's company. So wearing clothing that that hugs the body and that makes you feel a little bit sexy, they're the sorts of clothing that I would be drawn to and love to wear. My makeup may be a heavier. I may wear more highlighting makeup. My hair was probably, I don't have a lot of choice with my hair, but I would maybe wear it down and out, whereas in Daphne it might be up in a ponytail and tied back to allow me to get into things, whereas this is a more flowing outward phase. My handbags would tend to be more carry-alls. I'd have everything from a from a tampon that I didn't need because I was in ovulation, right through to a Panadol. So I just have lots of things in my handbag and be that carry-all person. And I would really embrace this phase. I would allow myself to tap in to the feminine and strong part of me, really enjoy this phase. It's a really confident, self-esteem boosting phase. And then I would move into Persephone. So Persephone is that luteal phase. So we're going into premenstrual phase. It's the phase that can have a bit of a bad rap, but it's actually a beautiful phase. And I put this phase into two categories when I was splitting it almost. I almost split it in two, because early Persephone, you've finished ovulating, you've presumed you haven't fallen pregnant, and you're a bit more risky, you're a bit more, the body's feeling fabulous, you're voluptuous, but you know that you're out there and having a great time. And so this phase was definitely more a sexy phase. It's the end of ovulation and early Persephone. So late Demeter, early Persephone, and I would be, wearing figure-hugging clothing. I'd red lipstick. I'd be more, more look at me sort of outfits that really allowed my body to feel, hugged, and I could feel the fabric on me. It's a really sensual phase, and I thoroughly would enjoy this phase. Leopard skins, beautiful heels, all the things that I enjoyed to wear as a woman. Everyone's different and you wear what empowers you. I'm just saying, for me, it was that really feminine stuff that had a little bit of a sexy edge. And then I would move into late Persephone, where my energy's feeling a little bit up and down. I'm a little, I've got premenstrual tension coming through, and so I could have, some self-doubts. I could start to be not so sure about myself. But I would try and tap into my creative side here and still be playful, but maybe just tone it down a bit, playful, still have that little sexy edge, but more comfortable and more practical in my dress. And then I would move into Hecate, which was around menstruation. And for me, menstruation was a time to really just be in my comfortable clothing. It used to amaze me that I used to have outfits that I would be tempted to throw out in other phases of my cycle. I would go through and I'd go, I'm going to throw this out. But sure as eggs, along comes the Hecate phase, and I would be drawn to these pieces of clothing, these old faithfuls, these pieces that made me feel secure, that made me feel like I looked, adequate, but they were comfortable. They hugged my body well. They allowed me to move. They give you a bit of freedom. Your tummy's a bit swollen. You've got your period, so you're conscious of white or tight or fitting. So maybe you're going more flowing, elastic waist, but still giving you that confidence. It's really important that you're listening to your body, and you're wearing clothing that makes you feel good about yourself. And that's what this was all about. So for me, clothing and my cycle wasn't something that I just charted subconsciously and thought, oh, I was drawn to this. Those things did happen. But for me, charting and my cycle and menstruation and outward expression and clothing became a way that I could embody each phase and really enjoy and understand the phase. So I really encourage you to do that. Really think about, what phase you're in and how you'd like to express yourself in this phase. Using the strengths of the phase. So focus and intensity, compassion and love, creativity, and determination, and intuition and reflection. You know, those are the 4 phases that you want to. What do they look like for you? You know, do you change your jewelry? Do you change your underwear? Do you change your whole look? That's completely up to you. But I really encourage you to just give it a go. Really tap in and understand the strengths of your cycle. It's more than just charting a date and putting it in, and it's more than physical. It's these amazing subconscious and conscious decisions that you make around your clothing and your other outward expressions. I hope this has inspired you to reconnect and get into another part of your cycle that could open up a wonderful way of expressing yourself. Have a great day. Bye.